You and Glee.
Yeah.
I love a Glee version. Are you joking?
No, yeah.
Sometimes
It's
they're
that
better.
the Smooth Criminal.
Smooth
Are you kidding
Criminal.
me? No one has ever done it like Grant Gustin.
No
one.
Miss Naya Riviera.
Never, ever.
Rivera. I said Riviera.
I used to
Take
listen
me
to
there.
Glee versions a lot in college, and
Why'd you stop?
I grew out of it, I guess. But one of my
Go
friends,
back down.
Yeah, literally what? Mature lower. Like,
Literally,
I don't know.
become
Regress.
a young
Yeah.
adult.
But one of my best friends hated it, and she was like, "I always feel like these are just like kids bop."
No.
I actually feel the exact
Yeah.
same.
Are you joking?
No.
Have
I've
you
never
ever-
liked them.
Have you ever heard?
Cell Block Tango
Cell
with the
Block Tango?
girlies.
Have you ever heard Darren Chris cover somewhere Only We Know?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Is this a joke?
How
How to Be a Heartbreaker?
No,
Sorry.
exactly.
Olivia also doesn't like kids singing.
I hate
But
kids
they're
singing.
they're
They were like
adults.
30.
well, they
Right.
sound like children. That's not my
Right.
problem.
I'm sorry, Leah Michelle, the voice of a generation,
Right.
I
Whatever.
do still listen to her and Adina Menzel's Poker Face.
Because it's
Yeah.
awesome.
I actually
You're
had the
right.
thought, I feel like Gen Alpha really, and like I guess younger Gen Z, like they don't really understand like
The cultural significance of
yeah,
Glee.
well, yeah, because
Yeah.
they didn't wake up like after an episode would drop and like iTunes #1 was whatever Glee song was.
That's so true.
And something about that actually like
So
rewired
true.
my brain. I was like, no, this is like the top #1 song like in the world. Maybe it wasn't, obviously it wasn't the world, but like in my world, like that song was
Yeah.
on top. And yeah, like
marketing
they
brilliance,
don't
though.
understand.
Right. No, I was watching Glee when it was like coming on weekly with my mom. And like, I know a lot of people who just like watched it later in life.
Mhm.
Hey, I tried to watch it later in life and I said, oh my God, this could not air today.
No, yeah.
This
Yeah.
could not air
The
today.
woke would leave.
The woke would leave.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad. I think about the grilled cheeses episode.
Oh,
Right.
Are
Right.
you
Bad.
joking me? Glee rocks.
any
Special for that
minority,
time.
no, for sure. Any minority that like
Yeah.
was involved, they was getting
Yes.
getting caught in the crossfire,
Yeah.
or like they were just taking that bullet to the head. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Britney S.
Like-
Pierce.
Right.
The Britney Spears episode.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Wow.
Right.
Come on.
Wait, no. Who's the other cheerleader that was not Britney
Diana
Spears?
Argon.
Okay, but have you seen
Quinn.
her like recent interviews where she has like some accent?
Her
now?
elitism accent.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And
so
What is it?
people are like, you're
It's
from
like
Texas.
It's like, oh, I just love going to the pool on Saturday.
Literally
It's
that.
So,
Yeah.
it's so beautiful, no? Like that. Like that's, and you're like, am I having a stroke?
Right.
Like,
are you having a stroke?
because that girl's from Texas.
Yeah, she's
from
Texas.
Like,
Hey, are you guys also familiar with the Diana Argon lore of her and Taylor Swift?
yes, of course.
Yes.
No.
Oh my God.
Of course.
Okay.
We're-
That's why we share a couch.
Yes, no, literally.
That's
This
not my
couch
seat.
is a line.
For sure, for
This is
sure.
the right couch.
For sure.
So Taylor Swift and Diana Argon, they supposedly had a thing, and so that's why if you ever see like Gaylor allegations, they're talking about Diana Argon and Carly Kloss. Anyways,
Mhm.
but if you listen to Wonderland on 1989, people speculate that that song is about her. It gets a little messy because like she was also dating Harry Styles at the time. Not also, but like she was dating Harry Styles at the time and he has green eyes, but everyone's like talking about her green eyes. I don't really
Oh.
subscribe to the like,
So people
to
are
the,
just
yeah, but I love a speculation.
sure.
Yeah. So
Fair enough.
anyways, this is quite the intro. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Hey, welcome to Always Booked. I'm Olivia.
I'm Emily.
I'm Hannah.
I'm Danny.
We're talking about Empire of Storms.
Thank God.
Alone, no tandem read.
No tandem read.
Actually, let's talk about it. Let's talk about a tandem read.
Yeah, I think it needs to be discussed.
I feel uniquely. Uh-oh.
Qualified?
Yep. Thanks.
Uh-oh.
Let me speak on that for a second. I've been saying oops so often lately because it's like if something happens and I like whatever, like it's a mistake.
Yeah.
What is someone gonna say if I'm like oops? Like you know what I mean? I feel like it's the perfect little like okay. But it's like you know what I mean? Love. Anyways, the word just yeah. Take it away.
Okay, I've read I've done the tandem and I've not done the tandem.
Can you preface which one you did first?
Yes, I do feel like that's relevant. I did not do the tandem first. So, that could be the reason why I am
You-
anti-tandem.
Okay, you're anti. Yeah.
Here's my reasoning.
If for everyone, or just like on your first read, you're anti, or like anti never do it.
I think some people probably would enjoy it more, the tandem. I can't imagine it, though.
Got it.
I agree.
And here's my reasoning. Tower of Dawn is not bad.
I also agree.
It's a really good book.
I also agree. I agree.
Also, there's so much that happens in Empire Storms, which we'll talk about. And the pacing is so quick that in the tandem read, it takes you out of it, flipping back and forth. So I do think for some people, maybe it would make Tower of Dawn go quicker, but it'll make you like Empire of Storms less, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's too busy of a book.
I'm gonna ask
to
for
risk
the floor.
it.
I'm gonna ask for the floor after Emily is complete.
Okay. And well, that's really it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well,
I'm doing it.
All right.
I did the tandem read first. And technically I'm currently in my reread and I am committed to doing Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn this time. But I'm such a tandem read advocate if you're a reader like me. Because I'm not someone who's like a personal development reader. I love a plot. I love a fast pacing. And I love like small cliffhangers. And I knew going into it that Empire of Storms had a cliffhanger. I didn't know anything like about it. And I was like, I genuinely do not think that I could go a whole book and like wait. Because I think it would take me out of Tower of Dawn the whole time. Me being like, well, what's happening over here? Also, I love like in Game of Thrones when you have like all these plot lines and they're finally all learning about the White Walkers and like their own separate places and then they're finally coming together. Like that is such a sweet spot for me. Like I love it so much. And so I also like my memory is just not fantastic with so much happening in these books at all times. So to learn everything at once was really nice for me personally.
And did it make it harder for you to remember everything? Because you get so much info in Tower of Dawn and so much info in Empire of Storms.
Yeah, but they're happening at the same time.
Yeah.
And so like you're getting a more complete picture of everything versus like reading all this information and then having to go back and kind of like relearn different aspects of all that information. And so it was nice to have the puzzle pieces coming together at the same time. I really liked that. And like that's what made the tandem read so like endearing for me and like helpful.
Yeah, that argument makes sense.
Yeah.
I devoured these books, so if it would have taken me a long time to read Tower of Dawn, I think that would be a disadvantage.
I will say the tandem read is the first time I picked up the audiobook, my first time reading these. And it was also like not the audiobook. It was the bootleg YouTube chapter marked in the comments.
I was going to say, how do you have an audiobook of the tandem?
You just flip back and forth between the books.
Right.
But like it was because I was devouring them.
Yeah.
It was like summer of 2021. I had nothing going on. So I was like that boy. I was carrying these books around with me everywhere. I was working the front desk at a country club. I'd flip one book, the next book, watch an episode of Peaky Blinders. Front book, next book. Like that was my rotation that summer. And like I just really enjoyed that. I thought that was a really fun, and it was kind of challenging, and I like that.
It depends on what type of reader you are.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a masochist. I'm not trying to have a cliffhanger and sit there.
Yeah, I am.
I know.
So
as well.
interesting.
But also no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say the reasons that you like it and the reasons I don't like it are the same.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
They're the same, but we're different people.
So I do like the pain of it, you know? Obviously, I did not know. I didn't know there was a cliffhanger at the end of it going into it. Also, I just remember reading it and finishing it and thinking, how in the world did people wait for this next book to come out? And then the next book they got had nothing to do with this cliffhanger.
Oh my God.
I would pass away.
And I think Akatar came out in between.
Yeah, she's releasing both. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
I
literally
would pass
cannot.
away.
That's
the pain.
why that is the exact reason that I have like my rule of I'm not reading a series until it's finished.
That's so funny because you're reading Crescent City and Akatar and neither of those are finished.
I know. And I didn't know that. I knew Crescent City was, but I was in too deep on the
At that point,
SJM
it
verse.
doesn't- yeah.
But Akatar, I truly thought was finished because
Fair.
Frost and Starlight.
And maybe it is.
Right, at this point.
Right. I don't like cliffhangers. I don't like when authors do cliffhangers all the time. It feels lazy.
Right.
Like you couldn't really flesh out this plot well enough. So you're just gonna like, ooh, big moment, and then just piss everyone off.
Correct,
Like,
I
you're annoying.
agree.
It's clickbait for
And
authors.
this book didn't feel like that.
No, not at all.
It felt like this is part of the plot. You have to feel the cliffhanger that Rowan and the rest of the crew, like they're all feeling it, and you're feeling it with them. And it's obviously been planned. I mean, before this book, even, you know, like it's not it didn't feel like a, oh, buy my next book sort of moment to me.
No, not at all. And I also think like the way she wrote it, like even releasing Tower of Dawn after, which had like, I mean, nothing to do with Empire Storms, of course, but like wasn't focused on Aelin. Like,
okay, so this book starts though. I don't know if it's chapter 1, but when she's going back to Terrasen, you know, and they get there, and I just remember being so excited for her. Like, she's made it back to Terrasen. Our girl is doing it. And then freaking Darrow and all of his cronies are like, we don't like you. You can't live here. You can't be queen. I was so livid. I just remember being like, do you know everything that she's just done?
Part of me is like reading that. She gets there and she's like, okay, I've been proving myself for years. What's another one? And so she's like, all right, change course.
But she's not like that. She's mad. She's upset.
Right.
Her feelings are hurt.
For sure.
And mine too.
And mine too.
Yeah.
And I get it from I get it. I think he's a bad person. One, he has like different motives, but I do get it from like
if he wasn't a bad person.
Yeah. Like, where actually have you been? Why do you think you can just come back here and take over a country that we've been running and supporting? I do understand
19.
that. Right.
Yeah. I
but
get
also
that
like,
too.
shut up.
Yes. That's my friend.
the other part, when I read that, I was like, and so why not go Dany Targaryen on all of them? Like, literally just start colonizing the world for the sake of like freeing the slaves for a better world.
And I'm glad you didn't do that.
No, I know, me too. But
And what I like about Aelin, and she does this in this conversation, is she's very like introspective. When she gets criticism, she thinks, oh, could I have prevented this? Is this true? Is this my fault? Or like other FMCs, like I think Feyre takes the route of, yeah, I'm awful. I'm terrible. I should have just died. But Aelin's not like that at all. And I really like that about her, the way she just approaches.
Well, you can tell by the way that she behaves and like her thought process in this book that for a period of her life, she was raised as a princess, or like she was made to think this way, think politically, strategize, do all those things for the first 10 years or whatever of her life. You can see that play out so much in this book through those sort of thought processes.
Yeah.
You're
Really
not thinking
like it.
normal.
Yeah. I like it. I like when people are introspective.
I like that we get, they're just like their band of the court moving around in this book. Because it's the first time they're like all together and you see them start operating as a full court. Once Dorian and Rowan get there, you know? Which I did forget about that until the reread. That Dorian's just in his castle and the witches attack and all that.
And then Manon comes and saves him.
Love. And Rowan.
I missed
so the
that.
witches come and attack and Manon kills the other yellow legs to save Dorian. And then there's a whole trial, blah, 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 blah. And her grandma is the worst. And she's like, okay, your life is spared, but you're going to kill your second then.
crazy.
And actually, even just like rereading it, I literally know what's going to happen. She's going to be fine. But she said that in the audiobook and I was like,
Me too.
no.
The way it's written is so intense.
Yeah.
Like, I can hear the music that would play. Like, because
Yeah.
it's
Reigns
so
of Castamere.
Right. However, Manon is like on death's doorstep because her grandma fights her, like rips out her guts.
Yeah.
And then she's like hobbling in the woods.
Yeah, she falls
Holding.
off. Abraxas takes her, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
She like jumps off the edge of the cliff that they're on, and
Yeah.
Abraxas catches her.
I love that.
It'd be such a good movie.
It would be so good.
I need to see it with my eyeballs.
You also
So
get
much
more
juice.
creatures in this book too.
Yeah, the Ilkin.
The Ilkin, yeah. And just like all the iterations that they're making like new nasty creatures.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which are very similar to the Adder,
Right.
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, there's so many different ones.
Interesting that you say that. Interesting that you mentioned that.
Interesting the creation of characters and creatures and their evolution throughout all the series.
No, for sure. And you know what? That sounds like something else I just read.
Yeah.
Does it?
No, it gets so hard not to be crazy once you get like to this point of the SJM universe. You know what I mean?
I just cannot wait for you to finish Flaming
No,
Shadow.
I'm stressed
because
we'll all be mental together.
You'll be psycho.
Yeah, like it's actually hard not to be insane. And like
Right.
even at this present moment, like it's hard to be present
When you're thinking about all the things.
Yeah, when you know all the things.
Right.
For sure.
That's why the rereads are so incredible after you know all the things.
Yeah.
Because then you go even psycho.
For sure.
Hey, did anyone catch Aelin when she's talking about Maeve in this book? She says she's not a Valg, is she?
Yes.
Yeah.
She asks that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
they're
who was she
like-
talking to when she said that? Because they were like, no.
I don't. Oh, she's talking
she
to
talking to-
the cadre.
Yeah.
I think Gabrielle. Fenris.
Yeah.
Right. And they're
One
like,
of
no,
those-
definitely
no.
not.
Elena,
Elena is the villain.
Elena is
no,
the villain
I
of the
completely
story.
agree. Yeah, she sucks. Her connection to Erwan and Maeve.
Mhm.
Can I get a family tree? What's happening?
They're
there?
not
connected.
related.
Not
She-
connected.
Back in the day, they were meant to destroy them, put them away.
Okay.
She didn't.
Yeah.
To save her, the people she
mirror.
cared about.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You learn all that in
Elena's
the mirror.
dad is Brannon.
Okay.
Elena married Gavin, which
Yeah,
is Dorian's
Galathinius.
line.
No.
Aviliard.
Mhm.
Villiard.
Okay.
Lysandra's a baddie in this one.
Yeah.
They go to Skull's Bay.
Oh.
Skulls Bay. Can we just like spend 20 years talking about Skulls Bay?
Yeah, but can we talk about Dorian and Rowan getting there first?
Yeah,
yeah.
it
Just
is
because it's a
sweet journey.
sweet
Yeah.
moment. And Dorian, it's sad because he wants to learn how to use his magic and he doesn't know how to do anything. And
Mhm.
Rowan's like, Aelin didn't teach you. And he's like,
There was
no,
no,
she didn't.
time.
She didn't have time.
To be fair,
We can't
Aelin
do
and
anything.
Dorian are not together for
the
for
majority.
the most of the series.
Yeah.
yeah. But Rowan teaches them a little bit on their journey.
Yeah. And he says, they're talking about like losing the loves of their life.
Rowan considered for a moment and then said, I have known many kings in my life. Dorian Aviliard.
H.
Dorian H. And it was a rare man indeed who asked for help when he needed it, who would put aside pride.
Yeah.
I
So
just love
good.
that.
He's going to be a great king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet baby Dorian.
Yeah.
And Rowan get there first. They meet with Rolf. Rolf is like, come back tomorrow. So they come back the next day and there's Selena.
Mm-hmm.
In
And
his
she
seat,
starts-
in Rolf's
yeah.
seat, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
And she's flirting. She's like, you, I don't know.
Yeah. She's flirting with Rowan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Rowan's like, no, sorry, I'm accounted for. And she's like, well, she must be the most beautiful, perfect
Yeah.
angel baby person of a human.
Love her. She's perfect for that too.
Yeah.
She is perfect for that. Like that scene makes me
No, it's so good because Rolf is so mad. And then Lysandra swaggers in as
Aelin.
yeah, as well. And he's like, you don't have a twin? What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fun reveal.
Right. I love every time she slides Selena on. Like,
yeah.
Mhm.
like every time is just so good. Actually, something else I love about Skulls Bay is that this is kind of the only time in the whole series that you get to see Rowan and Aelin be together, like
Mhm.
romantically.
Yeah.
Like their conversations are just a little bit more like relationship-y. They're just like their interactions.
Yeah.
They get to kind of like be a couple.
Yeah.
And I think that's really good for them.
Their mate sex.
Their mate sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Rolf. I wish we
I
had
do
more
too.
of him.
Yeah, me
Me as
too.
well.
It was good to see his magic map working too.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
quite fun. And him talking about his lore.
The Mycenians.
Because
That makes
Aelin's like,
sense.
how did you get that? What'd you have to pay for that? And essentially he's like, do you think it was my soul? And he's like, it kind of was.
Yeah.
But that lore was good because I had forgotten about that on the first read as well.
Yeah.
There's so much that happens that just like takes place. I applaud SJM for building the Throne of Glass world because it's got to be a feat to like put together all these like political alliances and like all these different peoples and like to
Mhm.
eventually bring them all together with their own separate lore and like layering all that throughout this whole series. I applaud her because
Genius.
that is
Genius.
no
Yeah.
easy feat.
I love Lysandra's just like the nods to what she's going to do and be a sea dragon so that the sea dragon is there to fulfill the prophecy.
Yep.
There are little nods of like, Adian's like, why are you looking at that book? And she's like, oh, Aelin asked me to look about these sea dragons. And then she is one, and like, that whole scene is so good. The whole battle in Skulls Bay is so good when she's destroying the Valg and everybody.
But she first sees the sea dragon in the temple.
Right. Where
Aelin burns all those people from the inside out.
And that's why Aelin goes there. And you don't know that at the time. You think she's just going to talk to the ghosty.
Yeah. Brannon.
Yeah, ghosty Brannon.
Yeah. I like how like, your daughter doesn't have a sense of humor.
I love in Skulls Bay when Rolf is like, you would leave all these people here to die, like trying to call her bluff. And that's when you see her like step into princess and like queen of Terrasen, because she's like, you know what? Yeah. This is
war.
Buck up. Let's go.
And even I think that's a big character moment for her though, because her whole journey has been about saving lives.
Yeah.
And saving people. And for her to be like, some will have to die for this to happen, and that's the sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah.
That was a big turning point.
I agree.
Yeah, because he references the slaves that she freed. He's like, you saved 200 slaves, but you're going to leave all these people.
Right.
Yep. He also makes that comment about Sam. He's like, did Sam...
Oh my God, Rowan!
Yeah.
Did Sam die pining after you?
And Rowan loses his mind.
Yeah, throws him against the wall.
Then I lost my mind.
Yeah. I also thought the whole Gavril Fenris element of like their blood oath was really fun
so
and interesting, just because like their blood oath is to kill Lorcan on sight. Like that's the thing. To see them be like, we really don't want to do this.
Yeah.
They like Rowan.
Yeah, learning how the blood oath works and them trying to find loopholes and things around it's very interesting.
And Fenris, his poor, like his lore and everything is his brother, but both of them being like sex slaves to Maeve because they were walking in the street one day and she was like, I like you guys.
Yep.
You're gonna be mine. And now this is their whole journey.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Aelin is so terrible to Gavril.
Correct.
So awful.
I don't know if I'd gone my
He's blonde. He's blonde.
I was about to say, I'll never forget the text.
White Walker.
The text said something along the lines of,
I say you hate Kale because he is brunette and you make excuses for Adian because he's blonde.
which is insane. Anyways, you've gone your whole life like not knowing this man and like thinking he hates you. Yeah, give me like a few minutes to warm up to the idea of, I have a dad.
For sure that.
But
no
he's mad
reason.
because Gavril left his mom, but Gavril didn't even know
that Adian
existed.
Right. But yeah.
He just loves to have a chip on his shoulder, Aelin.
And
That's like at the end of the day,
that's so true.
it's like, oh, I didn't get the blood oath first. Like,
victim.
I'm mad. like, oh, you didn't know I existed. I'm mad. Like, any chance he has to just like take
That's
something
so
up,
true.
he's taking it. Like,
Yeah.
thank God.
That's so true.
And Gavriel's so nice to him.
So I can't even get into it.
I love Gavril.
Yeah.
He's
Like,
good.
He's a good
That's a
guy.
good man.
And like, okay, here's also my delusion. So like, obviously I know all of them are hot because and young because of magic. But I asked you guys this when I was reading it, like, is Gavril old because like he's Adian's dad and Adian's like, I don't even know how old Adian, whatever.
20.
And then you guys were like, no, the Fae or whatever, or what's Gavril? Yeah.
Yeah, they're Fae.
Yeah. Fae stop aging whenever they're like
When they
settled or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like the romantic part of me was like, I think Gavril's old because like a piece of him was never settled because Aelin is his son. And like that was like a missing piece.
Important when Aelin goes on the ship to fight and she's going to burn everybody and is just legit possessed because she's wearing the word key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She leaves the gate open.
The way that I like first time reading that scene, I was like, what just happened? Second
Yeah.
time reading that scene, what just happened?
Oh.
She left the gate open so Deanna
Yes.
walked through and possessed her.
Possessed her. Yeah, used her
Right.
body.
Right.
And
Who
she
is
was
Mala's sister.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And she gave her silver flames.
Right.
Huh.
No, I did catch on to that one. I did catch on to that
Because
one.
I reread that like 3 times. I was like, what are you trying to tell me, Sarah?
I can't wait to watch that.
Like, Please, Sarah, save me.
Save
Sarah.
Silver flames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, but that's a crazy part. And she almost blows up the entire city because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rowan steps in front of Aelin. And it's
Grounds
like,
her.
snap out of it. And that's the only way she comes out of it.
Yeah.
And then she's so mad because she's like, I could have killed you. What are you doing? You're the most important. This isn't the silver. It's the whole sequence of like silver flame and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He continues to go on. And Rowan realized what the power in her hands was. Realized that the flame she would unleash would be so cold it burned. Realized it was the cold of the stars. The cold of stolen light. The cold of stolen light.
Stolen light.
Not wildfire, but moonfire.
Hey.
So Bryce.
Right.
Can't say anything.
I
Right.
actually don't know what to say,
My
but I want
tubes are
everybody to
tied.
follow
Yeah.
because
Right.
that's crazy. Aelin and Rowan go to the beach and they're like, because she's freaking out. They're all decompressing. But Aelin is like, I love you, Rowan. Like,
Yeah.
you mean everything to me. And I understand if you can't give me
Mm-hmm.
the same thing in return, but just know that I love you. And he says, I love you. There is no limit to what I can give to you, no time I need. Even when this world is forgotten whispers of dust between the stars, I will love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, another, because you don't know at that point. It's still not confirmed that they're mates. The words have not been said.
Yeah, but in your head, you know.
Yeah, because you're like,
Yeah.
hello, what the heck?
Right.
You guys are just being silly teenagers.
Right.
right.
And actually, this scene made me not want it to be a movie or TV show because their mate sex, he like puts up a barrier or whatever, and there's like fire and wind and like waves. And I was like,
Yeah.
actually, I don't think I want to see what that looks like because it's not making sense.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
I think
it
would
wouldn't
look
make
stupid.
sense. It would look stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Fade
Yeah.
black.
Black
Not
screen.
HBO.
Speaking of Adian being awful,
Mm-hmm.
and his only good part of the book, in my opinion, is when Lysandra is still in her sea dragon form.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how he's trying to get her back. And he says that people on shore are obsessed with her and they want to marry her. And he says, but I'm going to marry you.
Yeah.
And it's so sweet. And then like the next page, he's like mad at Aelin
Yeah.
again.
Right.
He's just being
Right.
an angsty teenager.
I really enjoyed because I got stuck in Queen of Shadows. I think I was like, it took me like a month to get through Queen of Shadows. I just couldn't. I was like, I'm tired, Grandpa. I want to go home. Like I was just tired. But then in this book though, I loved Elide and Lorcan's journey.
Their side
And I
quests.
think like Lorcan also like softening over time,
Yeah.
just being around Elide and also like learning, I guess, to take care of someone because also like Gavriel and no, not Gavriel. Well, Fenris and his brother. Like he was also kind of a slave to Maeve in like his own way.
For sure.
You know, or whatever.
Yeah, they all are.
Because he's like an assassin, right? Or what is he?
Lorcan
Yeah.
is like, his power is death.
Yeah.
He is part fae, part
Hellas
Hell.
is the god that
hell god.
Hellas is the god that guides him.
But he works
essentially.
for Maeve.
Yeah, he's
to
taking the
kill
blood oath.
people.
Yeah.
So he is like an assassin, basically.
Yeah.
I really liked their journey and like the way
Yeah.
that he like takes care of her and like realizes her limp, and then he like uses magic
I
to
know.
And me, like, as a Hayden Christensen girly, but more importantly, Anakin Skywalker girly, like this was my this was
Mhm.
everything to me.
Mhm.
And I loved hearing about their journey. And also just like her being like, he's being nice to me today. Like it's freaking
Yeah.
me out. Like
Yeah.
her just trying to sort it. It was so cute.
Well, she finally has a personality in this one too.
True.
Mhm.
Like she's willing to stand up for herself. She's on a mission.
Yeah.
And she bosses him around, which I
bosses
love.
him
Yeah.
around.
I
She's
like-
like this big and he's like this big.
He's like 7 feet tall.
yeah. And then when they're in the town because she's looking for pads or whatever,
Yeah.
and the town's he rips up his shirt.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah, good looking man.
Right.
Keep it off.
but right.
Yeah.
But they're in the town and the townsfolk betray her
Right.
Mhm.
and she's gonna get got.
Mhm.
There's an elk in there, her uncle's there, blah, blah, blah. And she's all by herself. And he's like, something's wrong because they just had a tiff.
Yeah.
And they're like, he left you. So she thinks she's all by herself.
Right.
And then he's like, something's wrong. Goes to save her. And she's fighting for herself too.
Mhm.
I loved that.
Yeah.
She's like got a pan or whatever she had. I don't know.
Yeah.
She had like a weapon. But
He
she's fighting.
He throws a hatchet and she makes to like run away. And he's like, oh, she's running away.
Right.
Good. No, she went to go get the hatchet and come back and get back into the fight.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was good.
It's so good. It's also the first time that the iron box is mentioned because she's like, they're pulling out this iron box and they describe it because they're going to put her in it to take her or whatever.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm going to die before I get in that.
Yeah. So she's doing everything. But then in the reread, as the reader, you're like, get that iron box away from us.
Yeah.
I love the part where they're talking about Dorian going to see Manon and he's like, human life is just too fragile for him. He needs something that he needs to be with someone that's like durable.
Yeah.
And that he's not worried about losing.
Well, kind of, because it is part of his trauma from losing his first love or whatever. And then the darkness that he's experienced, he's like, yeah, I need somebody different.
Yeah. And you know what? Manon does fit that bill.
Yeah.
He's testing his magic, his phantom hands. And she said, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I like this. I like this man.
That boy is mine. That's what she's saying.
No, exactly. It's too good.
Love.
It's sweet that she told Abraxos to take her somewhere safe, and he found them.
Aelin, yeah.
And you know, Abraxos, his little plot, his little storyline, that one really hurt me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just love him.
Wait, also, you said subplot, and it made me think of Astrid because when Manon's about to kill her or whatever, she's just like, take my body back to the cabin so that my body can be with. Right.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Right. It's so emotional damage
Right.
over and over again. Well, I think it leads to the end. Like, so they're going to, what is the name of this place? I call it the Bog of Ord because it's basically the Bog of Ord, but it's not. That they're going.
The Marshes.
Yeah. But they're going to get the lock because Elena's like, you have to get the lock and blah, 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 blah. And she's like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, there's another thing I have to do.
Because there's the whole thing where they're being led to the Marshes and both of the cadre are like, hey, you and Aelin need to leave. You and Aelin need to leave right now because why in the world would two people be
Dorian
led by the
and
goddess? No. Talking about Manon
and Aelin.
Oh,
Manon and
right.
Aelin.
Two sides of the same coin.
Two sides of the same coin. One dark, one light. Like, why would
Something's afoot.
Something's afoot. We're pawns in a game is what they realized.
Yeah. Why
so
would they both?
quickly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gabriel saying it to Rowan. He said, you need to take Aelin and get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And he should have.
Full body chills.
Right. And then Lorcan starts going to the Marshes as well. And it just says like, I don't know why, but I know I need to go here. So
it makes
I hope that's okay.
It 100% is like everyone realizing they're actually just pawns in a much
Isn't that the worst?
larger
It's like people
game.
that you love and care
Yes.
about so much.
Yeah.
When you realize, oh, have you had any autonomy this whole time? Or are you guys just pieces in somebody else's game?
Right.
That is devastating to me. I hate that.
Yeah.
And Manon is giving like all the lore of like, there's witch mirrors that can show you your past and present future. There are witch mirrors that can show you the truth. There are witch mirrors that are portals to other places. There are witch mirrors that can stop time. Like all of these things. And my brain's just like, ah. And then you think of the Ouroboros mirror in Akawar.
that shows you like the inner
your
beast.
truth.
Yeah.
Shows you your truth. And I was like, 1000%, that's a witch mirror, which just
Absolutely.
gives more, weight to the fact that there are witches in the Akatar universe as well.
And the
Potentially
Archerons
in
are
the
witches.
the Archeron line.
Aiden's like, Aelin, where are our allies?
Yeah,
Meh,
right.
meh, meh.
Honestly,
And she
Aelin,
takes
what do
it
you think you're
On
doing?
the chin. She takes it
Yeah.
on the chin.
Yeah.
Because she also wasn't sure if they were actually showing up, but she takes it.
Well, yeah, but like Aelin, you've been with her the whole time. Like,
Right.
what do you think?
Yeah.
Why don't you go get some more? Why don't you go marry somebody?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And shut the hell up
And
while
shut
you're at
up.
it. Yeah.
And then they get back to the beach and Ansel's walking up, but they all think it's going to be another fight.
Right. Yeah.
And she's like, who told you could use my name in the fighting pit?
Right. It's so
I will
good.
use your name wherever I
Yeah.
am. Well, please, Ansel. The mirror.
And Elena's telling Selena or Aelin and Manon, it's more of that.
God,
like
it's-
everything.
Elena has planned everything.
Everything. She resurrected her just to serve this purpose.
She made Arabin go get her out of the water. Literally everything.
Imagine learning that everything in your life has been planned.
No.
And you've had this predetermined destiny.
She watches the
And-
conversation.
Yeah. And also at the end, guess what? You have to die.
Right. Elena sucks, but like,
Yeah.
why you suck?
The villain.
The villain.
Well, she also essentially just prolonged the inevitable, so she could.
So it wasn't her problem. So she could have her happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she didn't get it.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to. I don't feel bad for her.
No, not at all.
Aelin kind of did because she's better than me. But
In the Nehemia lore that you learn as well.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
you see
because she
Nehemia
watches the
again.
conversation that Nehemia and Elena have.
Right. And Nehemia then becoming a pawn that perpetuates this. So is she a friend? I don't know.
I don't think she ever was.
No, she
Agreed.
was.
It's Rowan. So you learn that he's got some relatives, which is cool too, because you get a little bit more lore. And they're out there fighting with Maeve. And he just goes out to every single ship and is literally, it's described as like he's on his hands and knees begging his family. And he said, for everything that Maeve has taken from you, Aelin has given to me. Can you please fight for the life that she's given me? And he's spending all night just going to all the boats, begging.
And
Like,
they all
talk
say, I'll
forums.
consider it.
They
That's
all-
all they say.
Yeah.
I feel sick. I feel sick.
Yeah. Like that makes me want to weep.
Right.
So good because the next morning, preparing for epic battle, all the boats turned and released their magic on Maeve's armada.
Yeah.
And they all
Yeah.
turned at the same time. And they're flying the other flag.
But yeah,
the white thorn flag.
Yeah.
This
So
isn't
good.
even like the end of the series. Why is she doing this?
No,
No, I
Empire
remember
Storms
crying.
Yeah.
Is that
They're all fighting. The 13
fighting.
show up. The 13 show up. It's so good. I do remember feeling sick even the first time reading it when Maeve shows up on the beach though. Because you're like, wait,
You just
Rowan's too
exposed
far
her, take it
away. These people are all separated. Like, this is not good.
It clicks for you too.
Yeah.
At the same time that everyone's like, oh,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's about to go down. Like you're like,
it clicks for you as the reader as well.
it's horrible.
It's so bad. You learn so much information. You learn that Maeve is like really a super villain in all of this, and she's been orchestrating so much. The way that Maeve's dialogue is written, though, I think is so brilliant too, because it's just like, it's the words that she's saying, but how she says them is just like evil. Like she's having a good time destroying these people.
Mhm.
And it's so disgusting.
When they're in the witch mirror, they make a point that Manon and Rhiannon
Yeah.
have the same face,
Mm-hmm.
like the exact same face. And then when they're later on the beach and Maeve clocks Manon, they've never met before, she says, I know that face.
Yeah. This is where you learn that Rowan and Aelin are mates and that Maeve set up the whole fake mate for Rowan intentionally to
Mhm.
break him. We find all that out, that like she set up this whole thing because she knew that they were going to be together and they were going to be very powerful. And so she's like, I had to break him so that he would come to me and then be sworn to me and do whatever I told him, which is insane. She's playing the long game. She's
Yeah.
a million years old, so I get it. But like crazy. And then she also makes a comment of like, if it's any consolation, Aelin, like you would have settled and you and Rowan would have had 1,000 years together. And I knew that you guys would have been powerful, but your lineage, your children would have been even more powerful. They would have had the power to like rule over much more than just
Kingdoms.
our world. Yeah. That's locked in my brain because why did you say that, Sarah?
Yeah.
right?
Why did you tell us that?
right.
That is, seems very important.
That's important.
aligned?
But in my dark power, I saw a glimmer of the future. I saw that Mala's power would surge again. I didn't know when you would be born, but when Prince Rowan Whitethorn came into this world, when he came of age and was the strongest purebred fey male in my realm, you were still not there. And I knew that I knew what I would have to do to leash you, to break you to my will, to hand over those keys without a thought once you were strong and trained enough to acquire them. Aelin's shoulders shook, tears slid past her closed eyes. It was so easy to tug on that right psychic thread that day Rowan saw Lyria at the market to shove him down that road. It's just like she just maps out like all the horror that she has caused for these people.
And watching this as a show or a movie would be insane because you would see like the playback of all of those moments and
Yeah.
it hitting her and Rowan.
You would see it. You would see it in Aelin's face as she like receives it all. And then they talk about what's his name? Karen? What's his name?
Karen.
They make mention of him before,
Yeah.
like a few chapters
him
before,
being,
and they're like,
brutal.
he is, he's a sadist.
Yeah.
And then when he comes out, when they whip her, guys, I actually like.
That was
no,
bad.
Gavriel being like, I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Whip me. She's like, no. And then Maeve, you also just see how like evil Maeve is, and not that you didn't already, but like just like
It's deep.
yeah, and she's okay with being the villain because she's like, and you know what? Actually, now that we're talking about you guys,
Right. Let's crush you guys too.
Yeah. You guys should all be like dishonored for disobeying our blood oath. But
Gavriel,
actually,
you love honor, so you're dishonored.
dishonored. And you know what, Fenris, the worst thing for you is to stay. So you're gonna.
Yeah.
And you know what, Lorcan, I never give a rip about you anyway. Bye.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Oh my gosh. She's so bad.
Yeah.
He's horrible.
She whips Aelin, and you just like have the flashback.
She won't
to-
count.
She strips her.
She's naked. She's stripped. You're thinking of Endovier and her whole journey here. Like every time he beats her, she refuses to count the whippings. So they start over and over because she's like, I will not count this out loud. And tell Rowan, Aelin said, fighting her own sob, that I'm sorry I lied, but tell him it was all and tell him that it was all borrowed time anyway. Even before today, I knew it was all just borrowed time, but I still wish we had more of it. She popped past her trembling mouth. I actually can't read it. Tell him he has to fight. He must save Terrasen and remember the vows he made to me. And tell him thank you for walking that dark path with me back to the light.
Like, get booked by. Like, I'm done.
We just got booked.
Yeah. No, like,
Get booked.
And
No, it's so bad.
there's-
And then Rowan freaking comes back and is like, "Where's Aelin?"
Where's my wife?
yeah. But
mean,
when
that makes
everyone
sense.
is back on the beach and they're learning the plan of Lysandra's going to pretend to be Aelin.
Yeah.
And
The
all
fact that
this.
she set all of that in motion, she's like,
Yeah.
I know my days are limited. Here's how we protect Terrasen.
Yeah. Well, and in the book it says she made plans for everyone but herself.
I hate this woman.
Kill me.
Oh, yeah, it's so brutal. Manon takes a lead, which is great. And also that Manon has the wherewithal in this moment to know, like, I know exactly what I need to do. I
Gotta
don't
shut
need to
up.
save anybody. I don't need to, like, I have the keys. I need to get a lead out of here. We need to go do our thing. Like, she doesn't, which had to be so hard for her as well.
And she's like mean in that moment.
Yeah.
Like, she's like cold, callous. Everyone's like mad at her. And again, it's just really, it's cool, I guess, in that, like, to read that you're like, dang, like, she's also willing to be the villain, I guess, to like her friends for their sake.
In Hamilton, Lafayette, he says, no one matches my practical, tactical brilliance. That is Manon and Aelin.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And she
They
does.
get
She
each
gets
other.
out. She takes them.
You know what else really bums me out? Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. After Aelin is gone and Rowan finds out that she's gone, all of Aelin's allies showing up just too late. Adian feels like a bitch at this point.
Right.
I know it.
And he should. Gotta process that. And also, I feel like Sarah ends all of these books in the series, Throne of Glass. All of like the ending paragraph sentences or whatever are just like so good for every single book. And this one is too. Unleashing a cry that set the world trembling, Prince Rowan Whitethorn Galathinius, consort of the Queen of Terrasen, began the hunt to find his wife.
Full body chills.
I'll never forget reading
Yeah.
that. So in the tandem read, you read that and then you have like the end of Tower of Dawn to read.
And that's
Which-
disgusting.
No, I
Agreed.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
This book is so good.
So good.
It is just like full steam ahead from here, though. Like, it's not fun and games anymore in this book.
You start Queen of Shadows, your foot does not lift off that brake.
Right.
Not one bit.
Man.
Emotionally exhausted now.
Me
Right.
too,
We
like-
need to go take a nap. Atticus
Right.
just texted me this. We'll have to spoiler for the rest of the Throne of Glass series. Stop listening if you don't want to know. He just sent me this quote. He said, "This is brutal in the read knowing what happens." Because when the 13 come, Manon says, Astron was alive. The 13 were alive.
No,
And it
right.
was joy in Manon's heart. Joy, she realized, as she beheld those smiling faces and smiled back.
I don't feel good.
Why would you write that, Sarah? Why would you do that? I love it.
Yeah.
She's so
It hurts my feelings.
And our small biz shout out for this week is Blush in Bishop Arts. No. Yeah, in Bishop Arts. It's a very cute romance bookstore. It's cute. It's pink in there. They have merch and just like all these, like everyone who works there is so nice.
There's romantasy too. It's not just they have some of the romantic stuff as well.
Yeah, you should go check them out and tell them we sent you. They won't know us, but it's okay.
They'll be like, huh?
Yeah.
Which is in Dallas, by the way.
Yeah, in Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay, cute.
Love it.
Well, thanks so much for listening.
We have an event coming up.
Oh, we do.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we need to talk about that.
We are hosting a villains Halloween ball.
Yeah.
A Court of Villains.
Yeah.
On October 17th. Check out our website for tickets.
Dallas, Texas.
Come hang out. It's gonna be a great time.
Yeah, we're really excited. We're in the throes of planning everything right now.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy. We're having so much fun figuring out like fun things to do, and
the food is gonna be good.
The food, the photo ops,
the decor,
the vendors.
Yeah.
Just like how we can have fun together.
Yeah. Come hang out with us.
So cute.
We're a good time.
Yeah.
I think.
Subscribe, like, follow.
Yep.
All the things, you know.
Yep.
Cool.
Love
Bye.
you.
Get booked. Bye.
Get booked.